really difficult for us not to compare ourselves to others. So in this video, I've got some really good journaling techniques, which is going to help you to get out of your head, get out of comparison mode, and celebrate yourself and how amazing you are. So let's get straight into this journaling video. So there are 3 parts to this journaling video. The first thing we are going to be exploring is what are some of the ways that we often compare ourselves to others, and thinking about how it would kind of feel to like let these comparisons go, and sort of identifying and kind of going in and having to think about that. The next part of this is going to be about building up that self-love, because it's pretty unrealistic to expect ourselves to never fall into the comparisons trap, to completely let go of all those comparisons to others. At some point we're probably going to do it. Comparison is quite a natural way of thinking. We often do it in everyday life, but it is about equipping ourselves with lots of things to support us when we do fall into comparison. So we're going to be exploring some of our strengths and kind of like building up that, exploring some of the things that we love about ourselves, building up that self-love. And the final part of this video is going to be creating an affirmations spread. So all of those reminders, mantras, affirmations, all of that, we're going to be getting all of that into our journal, creating a really fun spread. Again, just a place that you can come back to whenever you feel like you need it, whenever you feel like that reminder, whenever you just feel like you need a little pick-me-up. We're going to be preparing ourselves for future you that might need that. So yeah, that is what we're going to be doing today in those 3 parts. And of course, throughout this whole thing, we're going to be doing it in a really fun and creative way. All the stickers that I'm using in this video today are linked below, and I'm using a range of our journaling stickers, and I have got this brand new sheet of journal prompts as well, and decorative stickers that we are going to be using. So we're going to be using some of those prompts. There's a lot more on that sheet as well that you can explore and kind of get sort of deep dive even more into this, but we've just been covering a couple of those today. And as we go through, I'm going to be showing you, I do make a couple of mistakes in this spread actually, so I'll be showing you what I end up doing to cover those up. So getting into the journal prompts, first one is we're going to have a look at, we're going to shine the light on the areas of our lives that we often compare ourselves to others, and we're going to have a think about how it would feel to let those comparisons go. So first thing, get it all down on paper. What are those areas? What are those things that you often find really triggering, and the things that often kind of send you into that negative comparison cycle? Often the reasons we are going into comparison mode is because either there's something about ourselves that we feel a bit insecure with, or there's just something that we actually want. Maybe it's a goal we want to achieve, or something we want to do or to have, and we see someone else doing it and think, oh man, they've done it, I haven't, that means I'm not good enough. Those are the sort of things that can be triggering to us. And I actually have a longer video which I'm going to post, or it might already be up depending on when you're watching this, where we go into some of the thinking behind this in a little bit more detail. So definitely recommend you check that out as well. So after we've sort of started to shine that light onto those comparisons and the ways that we often compare ourselves to others, we're then going to start to get into thinking about the things that make us amazing, those things that we love about ourselves. And one of the reasons it's so good to do this now and have a page where you can look back on is because often when we are in a negative spiral of comparing ourselves to others, we find it's quite hard to think about the reasons we love ourselves, or the reasons that we're fantastic and brilliant. So we've got a range of prompts on this journal sheet, ranging from thinking like things about your strengths, things that you love about yourself, things you love about your body, what accomplishments are you proud of. So there might be ones of these that, I suggest that you write a little bit about all of them. There might be some that resonate with you more than others. For the purpose of this video as well, you'll see I am just sticking down these prompts, but if I was filling this in for myself, I would leave myself probably a bit more space, and also allow myself to really free write and write as much as I could for each of these prompts, and then make a new little area and fill in the new one. But obviously I'm going to focus today on just showing you as much as I can. So that would be how I would go about filling this in. With these prompts as well, the more you can really challenge some of those things that you've written down, some of those areas that you often compare yourself to other people or often feel sort of triggered or insecure about, the more you can kind of really get in and really challenge them and really sort of push yourself to come up with different things and to write as much as you can, especially if you feel a bit uncomfortable, especially if writing about your accomplishments, for example, makes you feel, oh, I don't want to feel like I'm kind of showing off, or you feel a bit of discomfort. Like, really lean into that, because this is your journal, this is your space. You can write whatever you want. Like, no one is gonna come and read this, so you don't have to worry about like what will people think if I'm like a bit big-headed or something. So really challenge those comparisons and really use that as a guide, and sort of lean into those areas where you feel the most discomfort or you often find yourself comparing yourself to others, because that's a real guide for you for an area that you might want to work on. And the more you can write, the better. So we've identified some of the things that we're often comparing ourselves. We've done a little bit of journaling around our strengths and building up that self-love. The next thing we are going to make is a page for a bunch of affirmations and mantras to inspire us, particularly when we've fallen into comparison. So our favourite quotes and favourite mantras and things to remember. So it's going to be quite fun. I'm kind of going to go a bit creative here and just see. I have a bit of a disaster. Basically, that sticker just fell out of my hand and went wonky on the page, and then I peeled it up and it left, like, it really tore the underneath the paper. Now, luckily, our paper in these journals is pretty thick. It's 120 GSM, so it didn't rip right through. It's pretty good, thick paper in there. I have decided here to make virtue out of necessity and do something a bit creative with some stickers, which it doesn't look much now, but you'll see how I build this up and see what you think to the end, whether I have managed to kind of mask the absolute mess I made with this one. On this page, I'm just really using all of our any sort of frame or space to write, really kind of using those to create some spaces where we can add some really fun mantras, affirmations. I absolutely love I love a good affirmation. I think it tells you a lot within a few words, and they can be very powerful. And I know that some people think, oh, they're a little bit cheesy or whatever, but I love them. So sometimes you just gotta embrace a bit of the cheese and really find what works for you, ultimately. This is the most important part of this. One of the reasons that affirmations, mantras are so powerful is, or one of the ways that they can be so powerful, is when we constantly repeat them. So an affirmation is a really useful way to create like a new thought process in our mind, and the more we repeat it, the more we kind of get into the habit of thinking that, because we get into habits with our thinking as well as our behaviours as well. So if we can kind of get into the habit of, when we compare ourselves to others, when we fall into comparison, of thinking, no, I don't do that, I recite my mantra, and then I remember all of the reasons that in this area of my life I don't need to compare myself because I feel great, I'm really self-confident and happy and proud of myself, and I know I'm going to accomplish all the things that I want to, and all of that good stuff. The more that will become a habit. But it does take time, and it takes time to build what's called like a neural pathway, which affirmations and mantras really help us to create if we keep repeating them or looking at them or listening to them, or a combination of all three. So when it comes to creating your own affirmations, if you are struggling with this, got a couple of ideas for you for how you can use some of the things you've already written to come up with some of your own. The first one is to use the answers you wrote to some of the questions and basically create little mini summaries. So thinking about some of the things that you wrote in answer to those self-love questions on the previous page, how can you summarize those down into some shorter affirmations? Maybe it's about looking at what you've written and going, oh yeah, I've accomplished a lot. Like, that can become a powerful mantra that you can use. So I've accomplished a lot. I've accomplished many amazing things, and I will accomplish many more in the future. And that's such a mouthful to say. But having a think about that is a really good way to start. And again, maybe listing out some of the things that you love about yourself, just short words. So I'm courageous and brave. That's another fantastic one. The other way you can do this is to take some of those things that you often think or feel when you're comparing yourself to others, and just completely reverse them, flip them around. So if your comparisons often make you feel like you're not enough, then I am enough is a fantastic affirmation to have written down in here. Or if those comparisons make you feel like you're not good enough or you never achieve anything, then flip it. I am good enough. I achieve great things is another great way of doing it. So it's really just about flipping around those things that you often think and feel into something that's, the opposite and more positive. And if you often find yourself thinking those things when you are in comparison, then when you come back to this page and read it, when you need that pick me up, exactly the things that you need to hear are going to be written down, because you in the past already did it. And if you are still struggling to fill up this page or really need some inspiration, 2 other places you can check out. First, check out my website. I've got lots of affirmation stickers and things like that to inspire you to come up with your own, or you can add them in. I've used some stickers as well on this page of some ones that always really resonate with me and that I absolutely love. And you can also check out, of course, good old Google. There is tons of resources online, and actually even more resources on this channel. I've got a couple affirmations recordings, I've got a couple blog posts, and over on Instagram I'm always posting uplifting quotes and affirmations as well. So plenty of places to find them. So you have got no excuses for not being able to think of anything to write on this page. You do not have to be a scholar or a literary genius to create something like this kind of page. So I really hope this video has given you some inspiration and some ideas and some extra knowledge to help you for if you ever fall into comparison, or if you often find yourself comparing yourself to others. As a reminder, I'm going to be posting up another video about this topic, kind of going into it a bit more detail. So if you want to find out more or learn a little bit more about this, then definitely check that out. So thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what other videos you would like to see on this channel, and if you could give this a big old thumbs up, that would be so appreciated, because it really helps us kind of get the channel out there to more people. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have enjoyed. I'll see you all again very soon.